There's been a lot of ongoing discussion around Nickmercs and his reported $10 million deal signing to Kick. I would say after showing the numbers so far, still the biggest gaming signing on Kick, unless you want to include XQC in that. He kind of trumps all the cards of categories out there. When it comes to exclusively gaming / esports streamers, I would say Nickmercs is by far and away still the biggest one to join the Kick platform. So when we sat down with the Kick CEO and some of their upper staff for an interview, that full interview on this channel, we had to ask them about the recent signing of Nickmercs and maybe some details of who started the conversation first. Was it actually $10 million? And why did they decide on someone like Nickmercs? Was going to ask you guys, how did you come to the decision to sign a guy like Nickmercs? Couldn't have been a short talk, I'm assuming, but how do you come to sign someone like Nickmercs?
It's not a small thing to move platforms. It's a tall ask to get someone to say, hey, look, take a platform that you've called home for whether it's 5, 6, 7 years or whatever it is, and come to this brand new project and put all your faith in us, right? It's a two-way street. We've got to build a relationship with them and they've got to build a relationship with us. He's extremely talented and he's really a pillar of the whole first-person shooter sort of esports sort of scene in that sense, and he's really going to help us expand into these new genres. We discussed a little bit about how IRL streaming is doing quite well on Kick, but gaming is the core behind streaming platforms. So we're hoping Nick is one of the first of many big name gamers to make that switch over. And
XQC supposed $100 million deal, this time reported for Nickmercs a $10 million deal. Can you speak to those numbers at all?
I definitely can't sit here and confirm numbers and stuff. I think when it comes to a lot of headlines and stuff, you have to take with a grain of salt. There are a lot of headlines out there which make no sense at all. I think you'll see Twitter come up with people saying $60 million here, $80 million here. I think Nick's got a Kick deal and he does have a separate stake deal as well. I think there's some confusion between that. That we have kind of addressed a little bit. But yeah, there's big numbers involved. When you have a following like Nick, when you have that level of influence, when you have spent that much time building such a well-known brand, then naturally big numbers are involved. I can't confirm anything right here, but it wasn't cheap, and that's what he deserves. That's what big streamers deserve. I feel very strongly about that. Yeah, in terms of Nick, I think that just due to the fact that Nick gets along and knows so many people who are involved with Kick already, I think those conversations were always kind of loosely open. I don't think there was ever who came to who sort of thing. I think he knew, of course, we were always very happy to have him, and when he made that call and said, hey, look, I want to do this, we're ready to start the conversation. I think it was always a two-way street. Obviously, I think Nick gets along very well with some of the first people that moved to the platform, and that was that left the door open from the very get-go. I like to think that, like I said to at the beginning, really, it's we're open to working with pretty much anyone. It's just about having that discussion and making it work, and we really want to make sure we do support those people who might not feel like they're receiving that support elsewhere.
And a lot of what they said made a lot of sense. Me and Hunter have long talked about this. I think Hunter was speculating that Nickmercs was the perfect fit for Kick 4 to 5 months ago. And that might be when the conversation started of having a loyal fan base. No matter how you feel about Nick, I know we have our back and forth and his thoughts of me, but no matter how you feel about Nick, he has a very loyal fan base. I've been talking about this for years. When you build your fan base, you label them as the M-Fam. Not only that, but of course you build them not just that loyalty of, hey, peace and love. You got your taglines, you got them labeled, you host your own events, and you really have that inclusive nature of, hey, this is not just a streaming community, it really is a family. That is a streamer that has a diehard audience, an audience that will also translate and transfer between not just games, as Nick has also proven, hopping between all of the different games he has had. I would say, especially from Fortnite into Warzone and now into Apex, also League of Legends, whatever it might be. But then it even transitions beyond that of hey, we're not just going to switch games, we're going to switch platforms. And not every streamer out there has that kind of audience that can literally get up and go to a different website. It doesn't sound like much, but Mixer was a key example with Shroud and Ninja. You had two people at that time who were huge, but the translation of audience and of course the Mixer experience did not help them, did not do them any favors, but it didn't translate very well. They had decent viewership. The website again was very much lacking, but nobody has 100% transfer rate. All right, it just doesn't happen. So Nick was certainly a prime, I almost said suspect, a prime acquisition for them. The only question now remains if they want to target gamers and actual esports players or gaming personalities, who is next that can really pull viewership with them. I'll let you guys decide that in the comments section down below. That full interview is on this channel. Thanks to all of you guys leaving comments and likes. It really does help these videos do a bit better. And thank you for subscribing to the channel. It's tough out here growing a new channel from the ground up. So we appreciate y'all. Take care of yourselves. And we hope you guys all enjoy. All right, we'll see you back here soon. Bye. Bye.